So without any further ado, I'm going to slow it down and I'm going to introduce you to Tanisha Taylor. Tanisha, if you are here, I'll just ask you to unmute and, oh, you are here. Perfect. And I'll spotlight you now.
Fix my background, but you can start.
Okay, great. So welcome, Tanisha. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Just 1 second. I just want to change this. I'm not sure. I think my kids changed my virtual background.
Happens all the time. Actually, before everybody came on, I was playing with mine, so.
Yeah. All right. Good morning, everyone. I am Tanisha Taylor. I am currently a social justice educator and diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant. Born and raised in New England and Cambridge, Massachusetts. Went through a combination of public and private schools, had my own lived experiences that were both gendered and racialized. And I'm excited to be a part of an organization that is prioritizing different important topics, and specifically, I'm excited about helping Mass Now push its racial justice agenda, and also really excited about helping the organization through the efforts of the board meet its fundraising goals. So I'm excited to be here today, and I look forward to meeting everyone and getting to know everyone and supporting the work of this important organization. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tanisha. Thank you for being here with us today. I know life is crazy right now, so I'm really excited we were able to hold space. Next up for governance, we have Natasha Hensey. And Natasha, if you're here, I'm going to highlight you now too.
I'm here, yes.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning. I am Natasha Hensey, also born and raised in Massachusetts, and I am passionate about intersectional agendas. I identify as a fat, Black, bisexual, disabled, first-generation woman, but also as an attorney, as a sister, and as a dog mom. And I believe that life requires constant reflection and adaptation, and I am certain that the spirit of Mass Now will agree with me. And I want to join Mass Now board because I see that there is a need to fill regarding the bylaw situation. And I want to provide my experience to fill this need. It's something that I have experience and practice in. And I want to join the Mass Now board also because I appreciate the accomplishments to date. And congratulations. And I am excited about the vision going forward, especially dealing with intersectional matters. So thank you for your time today. I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the programming for today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You'll see that I'm using like these little heart emojis for everybody, but I'm just so excited. So next up for treasurer, we have Christine Cevito. Hey, Christine. Oh, you're mute. Perfect.
Hello, everybody. I'm Christine Cevito. I am a Latina born and raised in New York, and I've been in Boston for almost 20 years. I am a huge activist on so many different issues that I care about, and women's rights has been one of them for over 25 years, close to 30. And I am running for treasurer because I believe in what is really important is to make sure that we lift up our fellow BIPOC women who are in the struggle more so than others. And to be able to do that, you have to have an organization like Mass Now. And you can see the priorities that they have, and it's not just about being a feminist. It's, you know, racial justice, economic justice. There's so many important factors that come into play with intersectionality. And we want to make sure that we're going to be able to do that with everyone's help. And my experience in doing this is 20 plus years of doing finance work in a variety of nonprofits and higher education. And I am so honored to be amongst my, you know, fellow women queens. And it is great to be able to share this space with you. And I'm looking forward to everything that we're going to be able to do, because change is how we're going to make it happen. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Christine. You're amazing. So happy to have you here. Okay, next up for secretary, we have Lexie David. And Lexie, I wanted to make sure I said Lexie and not Alexandra, even though your name on the screen is Alexandra, but go ahead.
Thank you. Yep, that's right. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be with you all today. My name is Lexie, as Bria said. I serve as strategic advisor for local politics and grant making at the Barbara Lee Political Office and Barbara Lee Family Foundation, respectively. I'm also the daughter of a single mother. Growing up, we were poor and everything was a struggle. And that doesn't make me special, but it is where my passion for equity for women and girls comes from. That passion turned to fury when I became an adult and realized that many of our struggles were the result of bad policy, choices made by people who didn't understand us. Even worse, I'm now daily confronted with the reality that we have been fighting the same battles for decades. Fortunately, Mass Now is tackling the systemic inequity from every angle, and that's why I'm here. I'm committed to doing this work for the remainder of my career simply because there is so much to do, and because I do believe, as my congresswoman says, that the people closest to the pain should be closest to the power, and I'd be honored to do that work alongside you all. Thank you.
You know, I love that. I love that, Lexie. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Kate Simmons. Hey, Kate, I'm going to highlight you next. Perfect.
Hey, everybody. So my name is Kate Simmons. I use she, her pronouns. I was born and raised in New England, lived in California for many years, and then, if you can believe it, voluntarily came back to New England. This is where I feel at home. I love it here. I'm a health law attorney at Massachusetts Law Reform Institute, which is a statewide anti-poverty law center. I'm the mom of a fantastic 4-year-old, and I first joined the board about 3.5 years ago. And during that time, I helped put together and advocate for Mass Now's legislative agenda. And I'm just super excited and really honored to be a part of this slate of board candidates. And I'm looking forward to seeing Mass Now thrive under its leadership and pursue a racial justice agenda.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kate. And one more time, I keep forgetting to do this. That was Kate running for at-large position. And Kate is a returning board member, so really excited to have her return. Next up, we have for at-large again, Roshana Gray. Hello, Roshana.
Hey, squad. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. So, hey, everybody. I am Roshana Gray. I'm originally from Chicago, but I've lived in Massachusetts. Ooh, quick math. I'm not going for treasurer. Going on 12 years now. Let's see. I'm a public historian who's currently affiliated with the Cambridge Historical Society and the Mass Cultural Council in Harvard. I'm a cultural beneficiary, agent, and eventual ancestor. It was my original time as a part of Mass Now's former legislative task force about 10 years ago that, how do I say this? It didn't teach me that I had a cultural inheritance, but my experience reminded me that civic engagement was one of many avenues I had, one of many avenues that were available to me to co-engineer justice, right? Through lines of deep inquiry, community building, personal experiences that required that I would undergo fundamental changes in my morality and worldview and the language that I had for all of it. That was tethered to my time as part of the task force. About a decade ago, we were tackling anti-shackling, pay equity, the Healthy Youth Bill, and the Trans Equal Access and Public Accommodations Bill. And when I think about what drew me to that seat at the table with 11 lawyers and me with my high school degree, when I think about what's drawing me back to return potentially as an at-large board member, it's the knowledge that this world, that our society that we've engineered on top of the natural world is wounded, and that we individually and collectively are in a unique position to help heal, to help see, to help engineer something humane in its place. And whether I'm thinking about the former legislative task force members that I've served alongside, or even just the folks that I've met this morning that have spoken before me, I'm a firm believer in that old adage that iron sharpens iron. And so I feel so invigorated. I feel so invigorated this morning. So I thought I would throw my metaphorical hat into the ring. I have a certain body of experiences. I have an academic and real world orientation towards social justice as a historian. And I'm a descendant of enslaved folks and sharecroppers who've lived in the rural South for hundreds of years. And I have a sensibility that I aim to bring to bear with Mass Now. Again, nice to meet you.
Oh, Roshana, you always take me to church and make my heart really, 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 move this morning. Love having you. So next up for At Large, we have Katia Santiago Taylor. And Katia, before you start, I have to acknowledge this is the leader of our Healthy Youth Act Coalition, and you are amazing. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I joined a little bit late, but I'll make it part of my introduction. So I'm Katia Santiago Taylor. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I came to Massachusetts for college. I'm thinking I was just going to stay for college and go back home, and I ended up staying. I am the proud mother of a 15-year-old girl who went with me to her first Healthy Youth Lobby Day when she was 9. She started her freshman year in high school, and she still doesn't have Healthy Youth, but she's still doing Healthy Youth advocacy with me. And I'm also the proud mother of a 10-year-old boy who was my husband. We're making sure that he understands that he's equally responsible for sexual violence than my daughter. Like we don't raise our kids saying one is going to be the victim, survivor, and the other one is going to be a perpetrator. They're both responsible for making sure that they understand gender bias, gender violence, and that they both raise understanding who they are and what they bring to the table. I have 20 years working with survivors of domestic sexual violence and homicide, and as a Spanish speaker and a Latina woman, working with Latina has always been my passion. And I bring the intersectionality of, I wanted to join with this intersectionality framework that I'm often asked to choose what's more important, my race or my gender. And when I think about Mass Now, it's like I think about a space that I'm not going to have to choose what's more important, my race or my gender. I'm going to be able to bring this two parts of my identity and be able to work on this. So a few minutes ago, I was doing a Women in Leadership presentation for students at UMass Amherst, where I was talking about who I am and my leadership position. And I was a little surprised because the presenters and how it was framed, race wasn't an issue. And they kept talking about my glass ceiling. I'm like, no, you two might have glass ceiling. I have a cement ceiling. And I want that to be acknowledged, because how you got to where you are, your privilege was part of that. I had to go through different hoops, and I want to make sure that the students hear that. So my number one reason, besides agreeing with almost everything that's on the legislative agenda, I felt that, I feel that being part of the Mass Now is being a place where I can be at home, where I can bring my whole self, and I am not going to be questioned, and I'm going to be celebrated, and that when we create change, is going to be understanding that the intersectionality is part of women of color's life, and we're going to be recognized.
Yes. Thank you so much, Katia, and thank you for being here with us today. Next up on our At Large, we have Adrian Pomeroy. Hello, Adrian.
Good morning. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Good morning. I am coming to you from sunny Somerville. So happy to see the sun after that winter we had, but that is a thing we all share living in Massachusetts or even in New England, that we are always so happy to see the sun. I was born and raised in the suburbs of Cincinnati, Ohio, which I think is known for baseball and chili and a flying pig marathon and all sorts of random things. I have spent some time living in both South and North Carolina. My mother is from the South as well. And this is my second adventure in the Boston area and a collective 3 years living here total. So I am not a lifelong Bostonian, but I feel like I should have been. So finally here. I am so excited for the potential opportunity to serve this fabulous organization and with this team as an at-large board member. I hold a master's of public policy from Simmons University, although I still affectionately call it Simmons College. Currently I work as an operations coordinator for Massachusetts Advocates Standing Strong, which is a long-running disability advocacy organization in the Commonwealth. And I get the really great, wonderful opportunity to keep really sound systems in place and assist our director with fundraising and communication and administrative tasks so that our self-advocates can fight for themselves and their place in this world. And it's a really beautiful thing to see. And it's really opened my eyes to inclusion and accessibility of the disability community. And I'm excited to bring that perspective to this role. I'm also excited to bring my work with direct mail and fundraising from Emily's List, which was my first job out of undergrad when I was a 23-year-old, not so wise young woman, much wiser now. And what an honor to serve, especially after this year that we have had as a global community, and really have this wonderful, safe space to bring intersectional issues to light and continue this amazing work of this long-standing organization, because as we've said, there are strength in numbers. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Adrian. It's so nice seeing your face. And next for At Large, we have Nasiba Manan. Hi, Nasiba.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nasiba Manan. I live in Hopkinton, Massachusetts. I moved to America almost 20 plus years ago from Bangladesh. Currently, professionally, I'm a manager of quality and accreditation with over 15 plus experience in the healthcare industry. But I am also involved in my own community. I work with a lot of minority women, immigrant women with their healthcare issues, healthcare access issues, voting rights. And as a woman of color, an immigrant woman, a Muslim woman, my hope is that I bring their voices and their needs to you, and we can work together and make a difference. And hearing about MassNow's goals and their achievements, I am really excited. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm looking forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nasiba. It's great seeing you today as well. And last for our at-large members, we have Anisha Reilly. Hello, Anisha.
Hello, everyone. I thought that going last would be a benefit because I could hear what everyone said and then kind of take a little bit of each thing and sound really great, but you all did such a great job. And now I'm not sure that it was such a great thing to go last. My name is Anisha. I use they, she pronouns. I live on Cape Cod. I was born actually in the West Indies. So I consider myself a wash ashore. I've been here for almost 30 years. People say I can consider myself local. I have a lifelong experience of kind of falling at the intersection of multiple identities. So I'm biracial. I'm from the West Indies, but grew up on Cape Cod, which are two very different experiences, but had the West Indian home life, which became a challenge when you kind of interact in the world around. So I've had a lot of time to really think about how our identities impact us and how having, multiple othered identities can affect someone. And that's where intersection kind of comes into my life and why I think it's critically important that, as we work to make a society that is more equitable for all, we use intersectionality and intergenerationality as a strength in our toolkit. And I'm really excited to get the opportunity to help now Mass Now in those agendas. Experience-wise, I work in technology. I'm a Salesforce consultant. I just left an office job. And I'm really excited to have the time open up in my schedule so that I can bring my activism from a really personal level to a state level. I feel on the Cape, we feel like we're sometimes kind of left out, and I'm happy to kind of bring Mass Now to the Cape and bring the Cape to Mass Now. Yeah, so thanks for the opportunity. Can't wait to get to know y'all a bit better.
Thank you, Anisha, and thank you so much to all of our board candidates, the entire slate. All of you are amazing, just to be clear. Like,